Estoril for the opening round of the FIM CEV Repsol Moto3 Junior World Championship. Ivan Ortola, Julian Garcia on the number 20 machine is the only pass race winner in the field.
God breath for this one, Steve. I think this is really going to be one of them. It's all about track position. To be able to have that kind of gap that creates a slipstream, but you can't be right behind someone because you don't gain anything. And Moto3, it's all about... Salvador's going to be up there. The front two rows are good.
Are on. And the 2021 Moto3 Junior World Championship is underway. Ivan Ortola off the line, but into turn one. It looks like it's Matsuyama has made a great start, and we'll wait and see what here in the Moto3 Junior World Championship.
Action-packed and all clean. Really good start from everyone. Hold Garcia of Salvador. Then it's...
To keep yourself in those leading positions. We've got Jose Julian Garcia up there inside the top 5 as well. He's a race with...
Properly bogged down. He's recovered a little bit now. He's on the back of that leading group in 5th place. 6th place. Can't quite see who that is. The number 77 is going out. That's Mattia Volpe.
And we're doing really well on that TM as well to be able to hold on to second spot.
And we said it in warm-up this morning, Steve. We was watching trackside. We said that Salvador could be in the flat one. It's a good... Wow, out wide
Munoz
there.
all the way out wide. Let's see what happens here. Look at Garcia, the way able to use that big slipstream to sweep around all those riders as well, trying to make sure he's able to take the race lead. But Danny Halgado to have an opening lap crash like we've seen in the past couple of seasons in the Moto3 Championship. Jose Julian Garcia not quite able to get that bike stopped.
Matsuyama been relegated to 4th now. Bit of a gap back then to David Munoz. Oh, wide from Garcia.
Runs wide on the run into the hair. Towards the chicane, this is where if you're a little bit wide, you can have a mistake, you can have an accident, and you can take out quite a few riders along with...
Anyway, so it's not going to affect the leading group too much. At the front, Holgado leads. There's a gap between 2nd and 3rd. Now, brakes, no, he's not. It's just keeping a watching brief. Garcia goes 3rd. 4th, nearly was Munoz, but Matsuyama, I think...
Of David Salvador. Salvador, pole man here last year, front row start this season. He does love Estoril, just to put that pressure on Jose Julian Garcia. But at the front of the field, Kiko, these are two riders out there trying to get their first ever race victories.
Exactly, and Holgado
making progress on the opening lap. The number 80 of David Alonso, last year's European Talent Cup winner. He's moved himself up into the top 10. Further down the field, Joshua Salvador, he's done a good job in these opening couple of laps. Himself and Danny Halgado have been able to open up a gap of over a second to Jose Julian Garcia. And this is now crucial for them to work together. Make sure that they take advantage of that inside line down in towards turn 1. Looks like he is, but Danny Halgado able to break really deep. That's good riding from Halgado, who's just pretty much with no one in front of him as well. He's been able to set that pace. That's impressive stuff, Kiko.
Yeah, they've
gone out, Rafa Fusco, and that's unfortunate for the teammate of David Salvador. But let's wait and see what's happening at the front of the field to see if the likes of Salvador and Halgado have been able just to keep stretching that lead over Garcia.
This looks like it's going to be turn 1. Yeah, he's out on a wide line, straight over the cement dust. So we had a bit of an oil spill or something of this in terms to Moto3.
Yeah, on this lap though, Garcia has been able to pull back a couple of tenths of a second through the first half of the lap. That's what he has to do. He needs to make sure that the likes of Halgado and Salvador, two experienced riders, don't manage. That's the key thing, is now just to be able to use that experience to make the most from it. See ya. This is as good as we've seen from Munoz. He's been really strong in the Red Bull Rookies Cup in the past, but hasn't really been able to turn Danny Halgado. He has the line, but Halgado able to break so deep into turn 1. That's impressive stuff from Danny Halgado to get the bike stopped and keep that lead.
Yeah, we've seen it time and time again.
He's going to have 2 long lap penalties. That'll be up at turn 6. You have to run the long way around the corners.
As if his race couldn't go any worse. He's crashed out now, not sure. These two are kind of the cream of the class. The responsibility is on them to bag some victories. But we're not sure whether or not... The gap looks good now, but if these two do start battling, we've got 30, 20 rides alone.
Yeah, these riders at the front, they know that now is the opportunity to try and make sure that you're able to really establish yourself in the Moto3 Junior World Championship. That if this was the end of the race, he'd certainly feel that he's got a much better chance of being able to make those moves. But as it is right now, he's just keeping that watching brief on the number 38 machine. Good riding from the race leaders. They've been able to stretch out just under 1.5 seconds. That's Clement Rouge that's crashed out. I wouldn't be surprised if...
But in the Junior World Championship, of course, they're going to be harsh on it. They want to stamp out as soon as possible and at a hot spot. This is the battle for 3rd place, and that looks like Matsuyama
down the inside. He's done a good job there on Jose Julian Garcia to get that bike stopped, and opportunity to pick up that podium. But you can see with Jose Julian Garcia, he's trying to answer straight back on the number 20 machine, gets himself into the slipstream. Munoz, but it's going to have to go all the way around, the long way here for Jose Julian Garcia, and Matsuyama able to defend really well. Good riding from the Japanese rider.
Yeah, but the thing is, they've cost each other time. The gap was a second, really, a couple laps ago. Now it's up to nearly 1.6. So not ideal. David Alonso, and just ahead of him is our pole sitter, Ivan Ortola. That's his next target.
Yeah, David Alonso, sure he celebrates in style, but needs to make sure he's able to close up on that next group to be able to be in that podium scrap as well. Right between Salvador and Matsuyama at the start of this lap.
It was, and at the moment, you know, Matsuyama's got some clean air, and the front two are actually a little bit closer. I must say, Salvador has, that's a disaster. Joel Kelso.
That's Kelso on the 66 machine, crashed out of 12th position. Kiko, take us through it.
Turn 6, trail braking in, he's going to run it wide. Yeah, he's lost it very far into the corner. I feel like he's just got too much lean angle, too much front brake. Straight up on his feet. He's only a little lad, Joel Kelso. 1.3, the gap has come down a little bit.
Very easy to make a mistake through turn 6 there as you just start in 11, 12 positions through the course of this race. That'll give him confidence heading to the next round in Valencia. This is the battle for third position. You can still see the race. Their rider is leading this race on the gas machine. That's Danny Halgado on the number 96. But look at that battle for third position. It's starting to stretch out now. Matsuyama's broken away from Garcia. He's broken away from Munoz, who's trying to make sure he's hit with the game. Matsuyama is the rider on the move. He's had a personal best in sector 1, 2 and 3, so could well be on course for a new fastest lap in this race. As it stands right now, it's a 44.7 from Danny Halgado at the start. We've seen this group now starting to condense once again at the front. You can see with Salvador maybe soon, this is when you've got to make sure you're in a position to keep yourself in those leading positions, Kiko.
Yeah, and it's qualifying yesterday, but yeah, it's all about settling down now, working together. Matsuyama, perfect example.
Interesting right now is the second fastest rider on track is actually at the back of this group as well. It's in 6th position, David Alonso. He was a half a second and a half to make up, maybe even 2 seconds to make up, so needs to really get his head down and close up on this leading group. But as it is right position to attack for the race lead, Matsuyama, David Munoz as well. Suddenly, we've got 5 riders in the lead group.
We've got a 10, it's the third place with Matsuyama, who's right there, and the slipstream down this 1 kilometre front.
One another. They've kept a cool head up to this point. That's going to go out the window. Danny Halgado on the 96 is under a lot of pressure. Look at Munoz on the 64. He's sideways. Not quite able to make the move, though. We saw Garcia on that tight line, not able to get that bike stopped. Danny Halgado's held on to the race lead. But now, otherwise he could find himself at the back of this group very quick. The 38 does go down the inside into turn 6, runs in a little bit wide, and Munoz trying to hold that tight line, can the outside, it gives him the inside line then down in towards turn 7, and it looks like Salvador's been able to hold on to that, because suddenly for him and for Matsuyama at the back of this group, you want to be in a position to be able to attack.
The rider who did all the donkey work to bridge the gap from 3rd to 2nd, and now he's perfectly placed. We want to be a bit closer on the last lap before that.
We know Danny Halgado's good on the brakes, but we can see with Garcia, he's brave around the outside. Has he been able to get that? Some track limits warnings come into effect now as well. We've seen it for another couple of riders, including David. But right now, you can see with Salvador, he's found that little bit of hunger. He's found something there now, Kiko. He couldn't make those moves earlier in the race. Suddenly, with Garcia...
Steve, that's what he's found now. Halgado just going to fight off Garcia there. Yes, he does. Garcia was wide. We know that. But Salvador really now looking for a first...
To move into the chicane again. He's done that a few times already now, Kiko. So he's clearly got a lot of confidence in that front end. Mission times all the way through this race. Look at how wide Salvador is. He's 3 bikes give. It's very easy for the gap to come right down in the last 200-300. Matsuyama trying to get down the inside as well on the number 32 machine. But Garcia able to sweep across, hold on to that second spot behind Danny Halgado. But once again, we saw David Salvador, Kiko, didn't quite have...
Between Alonso and the lead. That could be coming down as this race.
Another track limits warning. This one's out for Senna Agius as well, further down the field. He's trying to battle his way into those points-paying positions.
Looking ragged. He looks very calm on the bike. He's looking smooth, consistent, hitting all his markers. Looking very, very good.
On this lap so far, he's been able to pick up about 0.4 of a second as well. First race victory. It's been a while coming for him, but the number 96 certainly looks nice and strong here at the start of the season. Comes into the year as one of the points-paying positions, maybe inside the top 10 a few times, but a lot of times wasn't quite in the shuffle first. He's made a step forward now as well.
Our expectations. We didn't expect him to be the main threat to the likes of Halgado, and he's doing a great job.
Holds that tight line, but he's not willing to show his cards just yet at this stage. Wants to make sure he's just able. It's Danny Halgado that leads across the line. He's not going to count for much down in towards turn 1. Doesn't look like strong in the brakes. They pop up from the bubble, and suddenly Halgado's under attack, but able to hold off that line as well. He is.
Number 19.
Yeah, that's Alessandro Morossi further down the field, and you're going to be a bit worried now about the track limits, just for the surprisingly undulating. You can't really pick it up on the cameras, but there's some areas that are very downhill, such as the entry down in towards turn 6. You can see there for Danny Holgado, he tries to get the bike stopped. Salvador's going to just make sure he answers straight back. He's not going to be mugged in this one. He wants to try and make sure he's nice. Wow. He has to pull out of that one on Munoz, and certainly for Munoz, he's looking at it like, yeah, you've made that move a few times, mate. I'm not leaving that door open for you. But it was good riding from Matsuyama. He didn't want to put himself into a position. We've got 7 riders in this group. It's Danny Holgado that leads. Look at the number 80 of David Alonso. He's been able to move himself all the way up this group into 4th position. Could be 3rd by the time he exits the corner. Good riding from David Alonso. He has been sure that he was methodical all the way through the races, doing a really good job here to keep the pressure on these leaders of the race. Matsuyama.
That was an ETC, not Moto3. It's like we said at the top of this on the grid. It has been a day of rookie revelations. Look at Munoz, the line he holds.
Yeah, and you can see there at the front, Matsuyama well off over the green. That's going to be a track limits warning for him, but he hasn't gotten one up to this point in the race as well. But Matsuyama's hit the front. And in
thousandths of a second exactly, it was so close, and Holgado was 1st and 2nd throughout that whole race as well. He's coming on very, very strongly, slipstreaming David Alonso. And these 3, Holgado on the brakes, and Alonso! It's going to nerf him out!
I'll tell you what, Alonso's not afraid of it in this race. He's done a really good job to get himself up into 2nd spot there. He was 5th across the line with a gap to the riders in front. Make sure his teammate Danny Holgado has to wait another couple of weeks for his first moto. Salvador, he's under attack here from David Alonso, but Alonso not quite able to make that move. Look at Garcia on the 20. He holds that tight line. You can see for Mario AJI, he's hung out to dry there in that.
Look who's checking out. Danny Holgado is starting to go here in the last. We've got about 6 kilometers left of this track. Look on the inside, Garcia. That back of this group, he's on the inside of Munoz. AJI is now looking to try and get ahead of Alonso.
Salvador's done a really good job. Salvador doesn't really have that slipstream to be able to try and close up at this stage. He needs to be really aggressive on this last lap. You can see David Alonso holds on to that 3rd position as Garcia Holgado leading the way here in the 96. The Aspar rider from David Salvador. Salvador's had podiums. Holgado's had podiums. David Alonso, he's an absolute rookie in the Moto3.
Clean has done enough here, Steve. He's got about half a second. It can all change.
Garcia manages to keep himself up there. Down in towards the chicane. Is there going to be an opportunity to try an attack from AJI? No, he's too far back. So David Alonso is in 3rd right now, but that battle for the podium, Salvador is going to need to be super fast through these final couple of corners. Look at Mario AJI. That's going to be the battle across the line to see whether or not he's been able to pick up that podium. Salvador, though, comes on to the start-finish straight. David Salvador is going to pick up the slipstream, but it's going to be too little too late for Salvador. Danny Holgado is going to pick up his first Moto3 Junior World Championship victory for David Salvador. In 3rd position, it looks like David Alonso's held on to it.
Wow.
We'll wait and see whenever the timing screens come out for that one.
David Alonso is in 3rd, of course. David Alonso on the podium for the team as well. Solid start all round. Yeah, it didn't end up too badly last time for a European Talent Cup winner that went to the Aspar team and then moved into the Moto3 Junior World Championship. That was Izan Guevara, as a rookie last year, able to pick